We now enter the heart of Libra, the 11th to 20th degrees, a zone ruled by the intellectual, communicative energy of the Aquarius decan and the social charm of Uranus. In this middle phase, the focus shifts away from simply making a polite first impression. Instead, it enters the deep world of social diplomacy, systemic justice, and objective truth. This is where your planets learn to look past surface-level politeness to understand the actual social dynamics at play. They discover how to reform outdated social rules, manage complex human relationships, and fight for real equality inside groups, relationships, and society. As always, a planet sitting from 10.0 to 10.9 is read as 11 degrees Libra, and a planet sitting at exactly 19/circ is read as 20 degrees Libra. 11 degrees Libra. The Sabian symbol, a professor peering over his glasses at his students. Symbol meaning: this degree represents objective observation, intellectual evaluation, and passing down cultural standards. It shows where a planet steps back from personal drama to analyze human behavior with an expert, academic eye, helping others see where they can improve. What the planets mean here. Sun, a natural educator, critic, or institutional leader who commands respect through pure intellect, keeping a calm, objective view of group performance. Moon, finds emotional safety in logical analysis and academic order, can sometimes appear a bit detached because they prefer to think through feelings. Mercury, an exceptional mind for editing, grading, peer-reviewing research, and legal analysis. Cuts straight through emotional fluff to find structural facts. Venus, attracted to highly intellectual, academic, or older partners. Values deep, articulate conversations and clear boundaries over grand romantic gestures. Mars, channels drive into academic debate, defending intellectual standards, or reforming curriculum policies, fights with sharp logic and facts. Jupiter, great fortune with university professorships, academic publishing houses, educational software design, or high-level corporate training. Saturn, overcoming early fears of being judged or graded by authority figures, training yourself to become a deeply respected, fair expert in your field. 12 degrees Libra. The Sabian symbol, miners are coming out of a deep coal mine into the bright sunlight. Symbol meaning: this symbol represents the beautiful relief of bringing hidden things to light, processing hard emotional labor, and emerging from dark times. It shows where your planets break free from heavy, exhausting psychological work to embrace fresh clarity, mental freedom, and social connection. What the planets mean here. Sun, a deeply resilient soul who excels at guiding teams out of intense corporate crises or dark, difficult transition periods into bright new success. Moon, possesses a remarkable emotional recovery system, highly gifted at processing deep, heavy moods and consciously choosing to return to joy and light. Mercury, an exceptional intellect for investigative journalism, deep psychoanalysis, or debugging complex systems, uncovering hidden truths and explaining them simply. Venus, experiences beautiful healing and fresh starts in romance after leaving heavy, draining dynamics, values relationships that feel light, open, and free. Mars, channels physical energy into intense, gritty labor, only to pivot towards celebration and leisure, excels at intense project closeouts. Jupiter, great luck with psychological rehabilitation clinics, miners' labor unions, clean energy tech, or trauma recovery coaching practices. Saturn, facing early periods of heavy, exhausting work or emotional isolation, discovering that your patient endurance leads to brilliant mental freedom. 13 degrees Libra. The Sabian symbol, children blowing soap bubbles. Symbol meaning: this degree represents pure, light-hearted creativity, playful imagination, and enjoying the fleeting beauty of the moment. It reminds us that not everything in life needs to be a permanent, heavy monument. There is immense spiritual value in creating beautiful, temporary things just for the joy of it. What the planets mean here. Sun, a charming, youthful, and highly creative soul who brings a light, playful energy to the workplace, inspiring others to think outside the box. Moon, comforted by simple creative hobbies, whimsical interior design, and spending time with children, needs to keep a light, stress-free home base. Mercury, mind excels at temporary art forms, copywriting, animation, toy design, or brainstorming highly imaginative, conceptual marketing campaigns. Venus, loves with a gentle, romantic innocence. Attracted to creative, free-spirited artists, and values playful dates over rigid formality. Mars, energy is light and expressive, channels drive into performing arts, festive event planning, temporary design installations, or youth sports. Jupiter, exceptional luck with entertainment industries, children's media platforms, pop-up art galleries, or financing creative inventions. Saturn, learning to loosen up a rigid, overly serious mindset, discovering that letting yourself play actually unlocks your highest creative potential. 14 degrees Libra. The Sabian symbol, in the heat of the noon hour a man takes a siesta. Symbol meaning, this degree represents the vital art of pacing yourself, resting to recover, and stepping away from the daily grind. It highlights where your planets must learn to ignore the pressure to overwork, choosing instead to recharge your energy so you can maintain long-term balance and health. What the planets mean here. Sun, a balanced leader who understands that burnout destroys productivity, schedules structured downtime for their team to keep everyone performing at their best. Moon, hypersensitive to stress and sensory overload, absolutely requires regular naps, quiet afternoons, and a serene, restful home to stay healthy. Mercury, mind functions best in focused bursts, brilliant at setting up automated workflows that handle the heavy lifting so they can rest their mind. Venus, expresses love through quiet, comfortable relaxation. Attracted to partners who appreciate a slow, peaceful lifestyle and stress-free weekends. Mars, physical energy moves in waves, works incredibly hard when inspired, but knows exactly when to completely stop and step away to avoid burning out. Jupiter, success found in hospitality management, designing luxury spa retreats, manufacturing premium mattresses, or consulting on workplace wellness. Saturn, overcoming feelings of guilt when resting, mastering the vital lesson that deliberate recovery is an essential part of professional success. 15 degrees Libra. The Sabian symbol, circular paths. Symbol meaning, this is the exact midpoint of Libra, a critical degree of rhythm, cosmic cycles, and seeing the big picture. It represents stepping out of linear, narrow thinking to realize that human relationships and life events move in natural, repeating patterns, helping you find peace in the flow. What the planets mean here. Sun, a highly patient, strategic thinker who doesn't panic during temporary setbacks, knowing that market trends and human behaviors naturally loop around. Moon, emotionally steady and secure, understands their own internal mood cycles perfectly, allowing feelings to flow without getting stuck in them. Mercury, an absolute mastermind for systems mapping, tracking historical data patterns, supply chain routing, or analyzing cyclical financial markets. Venus, understands the natural giving and taking patterns of relationships, values long-term emotional consistency and handles relationship pacing with total grace. Mars, channels physical stamina into rhythmic, repeating movements, like long-distance running, continuous swimming, or managing complex assembly line operations. Jupiter, great fortune with global logistics networks, transport infrastructure projects, tracking macroeconomic cycles, or labyrinth design. Saturn, overcoming a feeling of being trapped in repetitive, frustrating life loops, discovering that mastering the underlying pattern breaks the cycle. 16 degrees Libra. The Sabian symbol, after a storm a boat landing stands in need of reconstruction. Symbol meaning, this degree represents relationship repair, community rebuilding, and practical damage control after a crisis. It shows where your planets are called to roll up their sleeves, mend broken social bonds, and fix the shared structures that keep people connected. What the planets mean here. Sun, a natural crisis manager and dependable mediator who steps into broken, argumentative environments to rebuild trust, morale, and physical structure. Moon, finds emotional healing by fixing broken things, acts as a comforting, supportive anchor for family members recovering from a major life shock. Mercury, mind focuses on structural engineering, post-crisis auditing, insurance adjustments, relationship counseling, or writing out dispute recovery policies. Venus, dedicated to repairing broken relationships. Attracted to resilient, honest partners who are willing to do the hard work to mend misunderstandings. Mars, channels physical drive into literal reconstruction, community cleanups, civil engineering, or handling intense corporate turnarounds. Jupiter, exceptional luck with maritime repair industries, disaster relief funding agencies, structural engineering firms, or marriage counseling practices. Saturn, facing the heavy task of rebuilding after a major relationship or business collapse, learning that rebuilt foundations are often twice as strong. 17 degrees Libra. The Sabian symbol, a retired sea captain watches ships entering and leaving the harbor. Symbol meaning. This symbol represents the wisdom of experience, calm detachment, and mentoring others from a place of safety. It highlights where your planets have already crossed stormy seas and can now sit back comfortably, observing life's chaos with perspective and guiding the younger generation. What the planets mean here. Sun, a wise, respected consultant or elder statesman in their field, people look to them for high-level advice because they stay completely calm during industry storms. Moon, emotionally detached in the healthiest way, loves watching the busy world go by from a peaceful, scenic home, completely free from petty social drama. Mercury, mind acts as a brilliant strategic advisor or historian. Perfect for writing memoirs, analyzing global shipping/trade logistics, or maritime law. Venus seeks quiet, steady, and drama-free love. Attracted to deeply experienced, mature partners who value peaceful companionship over intense passion. Mars, physical drive is mellow and observational, channels energy into supervising projects, harbor management, sailing, or teaching traditional skills. Jupiter, success found in maritime logistics investments, global trade consulting firms, writing historical retrospectives, or running retirement estates. Saturn, stepping into the role of a senior advisor later in life, discovering that your past struggles have given you invaluable wisdom that protects others. 18 degrees Libra. The Sabian symbol, two men placed under arrest. Symbol meaning. This degree represents facing the consequences of your actions, legal accountability, and the cold reality of social rules. It shows where your planets must face the music, respect public laws, and learn that true freedom requires holding yourself accountable to the community. What the planets mean here. Sun, a serious, legally minded individual who often works within criminal justice, corporate compliance, or public law enforcement, ensuring rules are followed fairly. Moon, deeply anxious around social rule breaking or chaos, requires absolute legal and structural clarity in their personal and professional life to feel safe. Mercury, an exceptional intellect for criminal law, contract litigation, negotiating bail bonds, or writing compliance audits. Mind cuts straight to the law. Venus demands absolute fairness and legal accountability in relationships, highly focused on prenuptial agreements, formal partnerships, and clear contracts. Mars, drive is kept under tight control by social rules, channels energy into legal enforcement, military discipline, or fighting to reform corrupt prison systems. Jupiter, great fortune with criminal defense firms, civil rights advocacy groups, legal publishing, or consulting on international treaty law. Saturn, facing early run-ins with rigid rules or legal blocks, discovering that strict personal discipline and integrity protect you from external restrictions. 19 degrees Libra. The Sabian symbol, a gang of robbers in hiding. Symbol meaning. This symbol represents hidden agendas, identifying weak points in a system and subverting mainstream rules. It shows where your planets can spot flaws in social structures, using that sharp insight either to protect assets or to challenge unfair, outdated power dynamics. What the planets mean here. Sun, a sharp, private strategist who knows exactly how competitors think, excels at working behind the scenes in corporate intelligence or cybersecurity. Moon, highly private and instinctively protective of their personal life, can spot fake friends or hidden motives a mile away, keeping their inner circle small. Mercury, mind is built for cryptography, hacking defense, tactical game theory, or writing gripping suspense thrillers. Understands the criminal psychology perfectly. Venus, attracted to mysterious, rebellious, or unconventional partners, values absolute privacy and keeping their romantic life hidden from public gossip. Mars, channels physical energy into stealthy, behind-the-scenes projects, like undercover police work, high-stakes corporate espionage, or midnight security. Jupiter, success found in corporate risk management, manufacturing high-end security systems, asset protection law, or private intelligence firms. Saturn, overcoming early experiences of betrayal or theft, mastering the art of building unbreachable security systems to protect your community. 20 degrees Libra. The Sabian symbol, a rabbi performing his duties. Symbol meaning: this is a degree of spiritual leadership, preserving cultural heritage, and guiding the community through traditional wisdom. It shows where your planets find meaning by upholding sacred moral laws, counseling families through life transitions, and keeping social harmony alive through faith. What the planets mean here. Sun, a deeply respected spiritual or moral leader who acts as the ethical compass for their family, community, or corporate organization. Moon, finds deep emotional comfort in traditional spiritual practices, reading sacred philosophy, and keeping a highly reverent home life. Mercury, mind focuses on theology, ancient text translation, counseling families through grief or marriage, or drafting community ethical standards. Venus, expresses love through formal, traditional devotion and shared moral values. Attracted to deeply principled, spiritual, and family-oriented minds. Mars, energy is guided by strong ethical values, channels drive into building community spaces, religious education, or peaceful social activism. Jupiter, spectacular luck with theological seminaries, spiritual community funding, publishing moral philosophy, or leading interfaith initiatives. Saturn, carrying the proud duty of an ancient spiritual lineage, discovering that living with strict moral integrity brings true peace and respect. Subscribe, like, and share.